platforms. And do you want to kind of speak to that?
It's interesting. So I actually asked him this question too, because the macro of Puff landing on platform just doesn't look very strong to me. And HBox was almost cornering himself in positions on that, especially in the Collision Grand Final set. Of course, HBox was able to go 5 games against Zayn, so you can't really blame him for continuing to do it. But even Zayn himself says, I don't think it's that good that he does that. It puts himself in a really bad position, and a lot of times I just get a kill off of it.
Yeah, he was kind of mentioning that there are spots where Puff playing grounded can be really powerful. Of course, crouch is a really, really good option. Contest the grab, so we'll see if that comes into play here and how the platforms kind of mix it up. But another thing to mention...
Oh my god! At 38? And I mean, he's halfway to a stock already at this point, so...
Another weakness that I think Zayn is good at exploiting from HBox is, at times, subpar DI. Now, in that situation, it was a mix-up. Doesn't go for the rest there.
Yep.
But I think Zayn is really good at kind of calling out that DI and getting huge conversions off of it.
That's right. And here, look at it. HBox, feet glued to the floor for the most part, as we're pretty much even in percent. Only one separating the two now. Look at his weight. Look at the weight. Yeah, he's expecting a roll. I mean, that's the Hungrybox classic right there, but of course Zayn's not going to bite.
Yeah, and part of the reason players do that is, worst case scenario, you don't get anything and you still have center stage. So I get totally why HBox calls it high value option, but like you said, Zayn's not going to give it to him, and he's zoning him beautifully right now.
And look at the way Zayn will find the first stock right there, but look at the way Zayn is mixing up those kill confirm options. We saw first hit Dancing Blade try to confirm into up tilt. HBox was able to get out right there. The adaptation on top of that is you do second hit Dancing Blade, and then you can follow up with the up air afterwards if the percent is high enough.
Yeah, great call out there. One other thing I want to speak to as well is how damn good Zayn's aerial drift is. You know, Puff is kind of the player that's known for aerial drift. Zayn hitting edge cancels you never even dreamed of, spacing around Puff's options, making Bear look like a joke at times, but that just barely doesn't kill. Wow.
Yeah, and HBox was fishing for the up air for the KO off the top right there. Zayn's reaching though. HBox could have gotten a counter hit there. We'll be off stage.
I do like the commitment though, that if that works out, then he has a huge lead.
That's right. Power shield, okay, yeah, the platform got in the way right there, but HBox could actually like power shield F smash right there. Oh, he's out of jumps. He's just out of jumps and out of the second stock as well.
Again, I just want to speak to, like, Zayn is so prepared in situations like that. Like, not only is he tracking the jumps, but he's like, all I have to do is down here, and I'm going to hit that down air.
That's right.
This is like, we're not quite, I was going to say, we're not quite at a 4-stock pace here, but, like, anything can happen, and this is still such a lead.
And of course, no JC grab that you're seeing on the screen right there, because the Pup can low profile it and get a kill in response.
Yep.
Miss Tipper right there is not going to do it either, but next one, if he converts, will kill.
Yep. This is kind of the situation you want to see. Both players sort of want to have the opponent above them. When Puff is down there, she kind of really struggles to contest things like up air, but this sort of mid-platform thing is a better spot for her.
Yeah, and that positioning is exactly what I was saying before, right? Zayn doesn't think that's the double Dancing Blade as well. But Zayn doesn't think that HBox just sitting and shielding on a side platform is really strong, right? Zayn had so much time to just set up edge cancel pressure strings, and eventually if he starts doing shield breaker, HBox just loses.
And you know, because he's been losing so consistently, I know HBox has talked about this matchup. He said straight up it might be worse than Fox.
Pack it up.
Go for the second down air.
Yep.
My God.
He said it the last night, right? I will not lose. I will not lose to this player.
It's scary. Yeah, I don't know, again, he just has such a robust game plan at every time. And the thing that I think people overlook when we talk about game plans is it's one thing to have one, it's another thing to like stick to one no matter what.
Yep.
To kind of like have the discipline to go, I do not engage here. You know, just as I say that, kind of struggling to fight against back air, taking quite a bit of damage, but great mix-up so far.
And again, HBox a little bit lazy. They're just holding down on crouch. So that's a chump check on Zayn to just press Z without any other buttons there.
Able to make it back off stage, on stage as well.
Oh, that's so brutal. Yeah, you missed that dash attack confirm, and then you're in such a bad position if you're Jigglypuff.
And this is what I was talking earlier about both players kind of want to be above below their opponent.
Yeah.
Puff struggling to kind of find space back down, finally able to make it there, but it's just tough. Like when Marth isn't throwing out a hitbox, it feels like he has such a threatening range. So you have to kind of weave in, bait it out, and kind of open him up. Otherwise, he's so frightening.
I'm shocked HBox didn't find a bigger punish there off Zayn airing out that down air. We keep it going right here, slowly but surely chipping away at this first stock. Does he have the setup? No. Okay, so I want to look at that, right? He does neutral get up. HBox will fall on this first stock right here, but that was the Marth Killer 2.0, the setup that we saw, I believe, from Case on Twitter. You do neutral get up when you grab the ledge, and then it's actually a 5-frame input for you to SDI and get the Marth Killer on it.
Yeah, definitely just showing how much kind of innovation there still is in this matchup. But 141, solid hits will close this out. Gets the back air there, keeping it simple. Again, this is this kind of like flow chart where maybe, maybe a kind of reverse fair regrab might be better in that spot. Hard to say.
And like you said before, man, sometimes HBox just has to go out there and clean up the stock himself. He can't rely on these setups. That was able to get him the first one right here, but missed pivot is going to be Zayn. Oh, you're reaching! This is what I'm saying. Zayn just has so much time to just color by number for whatever he wants to do when HBox is on those platforms.
And like HBox fell for the bait there. Yes, it looks like a flubbed smash attack, but if you're at 0, you can just CC anything pretty much and get the counter hit instead.
Okay, look at it. See, it's so scary for HBox. It forces a response every single time.
Yep. Once again, HBox is struggling to kind of maintain favorable stage positioning. He's kind of been on the edges. That should be a rest. Yep.
Yeah, but he's living.
He's going to make it back. Yep.
So it's just a couple percent. Oh, he was waiting for the dash in from Zayn. That rules.
Like the double side B there once again. Zayn with the awareness to go for the grab right as he exits crouch. Kind of a ballsy grab, to be honest. Like, that was a standing grab. It would not hit if he stayed crouched.
Okay, and watch out now for those up tilts, right? Dreamland was the counter pick of choice against Zayn, especially if you're HBox or Cody Schwab. But he's come to make his money, especially with these no impact lands into the up tilt.
I gotta say, one of the things I always feel whenever I watch HBox's play is, as a kid, did you ever play the game Minesweeper?
Yes.
So Minesweeper is exactly what it sounds like. You're just kind of trying to identify little mines. It's a puzzle game, and I feel like that's what playing HBox is like. You got to play these favorable spots, or you will get blown up walls.
Yeah,
it's so precise, and the precision we've been seeing from Zayn is that. He is not forcing anything. He's picking his spots brilliantly. Again, that's a situation where a lot of Marth players would panic, and he doesn't. He's like, I'm fine. I'm at 10%. I don't need to force anything.
100%. We haven't seen the crowd come alive for either player just yet. We're pretty early into the set, but just like I said, at Collision, it was the first time in 1,000 years we've heard a Hungrybox chant. Will we get it again here? I don't know, as Zayn comes in with a chain grab.
Yep, keeping it going. The story of this set so far is HBox struggling to kind of get back in.
Yeah.
And then also, I would say, giving a bit too much stage away. Like, there have been quite a few moments where HBox kind of like has him in the corner, Zayn in the corner, and then just kind of backs off.
Yep.
And it's earned, like Zayn is putting on the pressure, but I still think you got to hold that a little bit more aggressively.
HBox just, pressing a lot of buttons right here. Zayn has just been so on top of it when it comes to his defense.
Looking, escaping to the corner again. Zayn mixing it up brilliantly, and that's going to be the pin combo.
He's looking for it right here. Wait for the air dodge again. Yep.
Ooh. No jumps available. Gets to the stage, though, once again.
This is rough. Yeah, okay. Looking for a little bit of a remix on there. That should kill right there, though. The pivot tipper, once again, it was what Zayn adapted to do over the years to start beating Hungrybox. We're seeing it in spades.
And I just want to, once again, echo what we've been saying, which Zayn looking kind of psychic when he said, I will not lose. Like, the number 12 streak is about to look like 13.
That's
Unless
right.
HBox can kind of find an answer to this, Zayn's commitment to his game plan, Zayn's discipline to keep HBox in the corner, it's all he needs right now, man. HBox fans, he's got to find something quick.
Okay. Up tilt is excellent. We did see the drip come in. The rest was possibly imminent, but he finds it there instead. This could be time for a punish, though, and he sets it up with a down smash. Lovely from Zayn.
Again, I always want to praise players who have the percent awareness there. Lots of lower level Marth players wouldn't know that that converts into a kill, and Zayn just making it work brilliantly.
Look at this again. Yeah, so much time for Zayn to just find any opening he wants to go for. Double fair wasn't going to get too much right here, but here comes it again with the down air.
Another thing too is just like there was an age where we did not see anyone combo Puff like this in this matchup.
Yes.
Like he combos Puff as if she's a fastballer. It is crazy.
Off stage. What's the punish right here? Zayn,
What a
the drift
feedback.
back to ledge, yeah. Dude, HBox cannot find his footing right now. He cannot find his footing right now. HBox on last stock right here. Zayn said it and he meant it, man.
Have we ever seen a player this dominant before in a single matchup? Zayn is just playing so beautifully,
dude.
Converting off of crazy openings, already at 65.
It's over, pack it up, pack it up.
It's
It's
over.
over. Goodbye,
It's
goodbye,
over.
goodbye. Get out. Get out. We'll see you in the losers bracket, HBox. But Zayn said it before, he will not lose to this player ever again.
That said, you know, we saw HBox turn it on in Collision. We've seen HBox, you know, be a top force for so long. So he's far from out. You know, we have crazy losers matches ahead of us. I believe we have Jmook versus Hungrybox. If you're HBox, that is a matchup you are glad to play. And Cody versus Mango.
Cody versus Mango, man, is going to be a crazy one to see for what we've been talking about before. But let's go over a couple of these replays right here.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
Again, I think catching HBox slipping in terms of approaching with drift in aerials a lot, and Zayn could just very simply block in a lot of those situations. And then again, I talk about that macro situation of HBox kind of cornering himself by giving him no real estate on a side platform.
Yeah. It
lets Zayn do literally whatever he wants.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes against, that was such a freaking amazing combo. That was just beautiful. It kind of goes against something that I think HBox for a long time has been able to fall back on, which is slowing the pace of the game down by kind of like, well, let's be real, like kind of camping the player out a little bit. And one of the ways he does that is sort of falling back to platforms, kind of side platform especially, just sort of being like, okay, I'm going to hang out here.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of slow things down. I'm going to dial my mental back in. And Zayn says, no, you're not. Like, I will not let you do that. I will be on your ass the whole way through. I'm going to be edge cancel daring. I'm going to be making your life on a platform miserable.
That's right.
And it's just such a mountain to climb for HBox. Like, this is...
He's got to get more than one adaptation in and learn to mix those up if he wants to stand a chance against this titan of the game. I mean, again, we talk about Zayn as the one who was dethroned from the #1 by Cody Schwab. He looking for a third victory after winning Full Bloom and Collision back-to-back. He's in the contest now for #1, of course, but I mean, that is just such a nightmare matchup for HBox.
Yeah, it really is. And again, he needs to find answers soon, because one of the things you see time and time again in competitive Melee and any competition is the people who win. Sometimes you can kind of just crunch it down to numbers. And if you have one player where you're like, yeah, I don't beat that guy. My way to win is to not play him, then you just don't win that much.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what a dichotomy that is from someone like Cody, right? You mentioned at the start of Cody's first set on winner semi, or loser side, excuse me. He's a player that wants to face those matchups, that says, you know, if I dodge someone, I don't feel like it's a legit win. HBox is in a position right now where if he runs into Zayn, he cannot win. He cannot win.
Yeah. However, and I can't believe I didn't bring this up during the set, he's been getting coaching from Mewtwo King.
He has.
You know, a kind of, but again, I want to hold that thought because we got Blur interviewing Zayn, and I do want to say the vibe of this interview is going to be different. These are boys. These are two.
The cream to Zayn's crop, as
it were. The cream to Zayn's crop, like you said.
Let's hear it, Blur. What do you got?
All right, Zayn. Last set you guys had, it was 3-2. You barely won, and he left the set saying, he looked at you and said, "It's only a matter of time." What changed?
When it got that close, I put in the time to make sure that I know what I'm doing for the next set and that I don't get complacent with even, like, you know, I'm up on him a lot the past few sets, but if I get complacent a little bit, you know, he was adding a lot of new stuff, but I was just really ready this time.
Yeah, he's adding a lot of new stuff, but he didn't do Marth Killer 2.0 at all this time.
The way I was recovering, I think, was discouraging it a good amount, because I think he was only trying to set up for that, so when he overly fixated, it was easier for me to recover.
Yeah, I think that was the best you've ever played in the matchup right there. And now looking forward, you do have someone who's been a thorn in your side in winners finals. What do you have looking forward to, Amsa?
The last set that I played with him at Genesis, I think I was putting some of the pieces of the puzzle together, and I just want to use that info and the way I felt then and pretend like it's that same set. Like, I just want to hit continue on that.
All right, well, good luck. I'm definitely cheering for you, and we will send it back to Molten Radar.
Thank you, Blur. Yeah, that was something I did want to talk about, right? Like, the flowchart setups that HBox had that gave him so much success at Collision to make it a 5-game bout were just non-existent in that last set. And I think it's just like Zayn said, he got overly fixated on it. He was looking to find those openings to get the KOs there. And Zayn was like, you know what, this isn't going to work against me anymore, man.
I completely agree. I do also want to call out, it's sick that we got these player interviews. It's sick.
Yeah. Oh,
Actually, love it. You know, obviously Battle BC, not the first to do it. We saw this at Genesis as well. But getting into the headspace of each player is so useful. You know, we kind of know where Zayn's at now. We kind of hear the adjustments that he made, some of the adjustments we had pointed out. I actually was recalling the set, you know, I wonder if it was a bit of an over-adjustment from HBox. We saw no pound almost at all, like ever.
Like a couple, maybe.
And the thing is like, yes, Zayn punishes those, but Melee is one of those games where so many situations are essentially like really sophisticated rock, paper, scissors things. And as much as you don't want to set yourself up for failure if they're really good at calling out an option, if you stop using that option altogether, you're playing in an even worse spot. So there's definitely some adjustments that HBox has to make. And, you know, I think HBox playing at a top level is genuinely good for the game.
Yeah.
I think the reason why we saw people cheering for him at Collision, I was actually even cheering for him at Collision, is because, like, he adds a lot. You know, we kind of joke around about him sort of being a villain in Smash. You know, like, people would make Thanos jokes, but, like, it felt that way for a long time. He was untouchable. You know, so it's kind of crazy. But as I say that,
oh my God.
Speaking of untouchable,
these signs are insane. Can you stop? Let's talk about Cody Mango coming up next. This is such an interesting set to me because the lifetime head-to-head, I think, does not tell the full story. Mango was, especially when he was kind of arguably, or not even arguably, the best player in 2021, past pandemic, he was beating up Cody bad, like really bad. It was not close. But again, like I said,